Evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Golden Goal Fantasy Football Podcast. As usual, you're joined by me, Tom, and Sam. How you doing, mate?
Hey Tom, yeah, very good, mate. Looking forward to it.
And yeah, this week we got a very, very special guest in Ben. How are you doing?
Not too bad, guys. Thanks very much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Hey, most welcome,
Pleasure,
mate.
mate. Great to have you on.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been enjoying the podcast every week, so I'm glad to get a chance to come on and speak with you both.
Yeah, really appreciate it,
Should
mate.
be good. Good to get your opinion tonight and shoot the proverbial around all the fixtures and results and players and all that sort of stuff, as we've just already started to do off camera. So
Yeah,
should be a good one. Probably be a long one.
Yeah, I was just tempted to hit record while you were shooting the shit about Liverpool and Man City then, but I held off. Do a
yeah.
Joe Rogan style, just start the podcast randomly and say we're rolling.
Yeah, get it going early.
God knows what you'd get from the two of us just ranting there.
As usual, go through each of our teams, preview the fixtures, and luckily, actually, we've got some brand new Premier League fixtures out that we can talk through, although I can't say they're the most interesting, really. And there, thank you for your questions. We got a few questions to go through at the end, as usual, as well. So, first up, Sam, I've got your team, if that's all right. You all right to give us a whirl through what you've got?
Yes, mate, absolutely. I will just say to anyone, if you hear two crazy dogs in the background, they are mine. Hopefully they'll settle down. So yeah, we're kind of mid-game week, aren't we? So it's always a funny one when it's in that position. Got a little bit of Jose Sarr in goal. He's actually been a really good pick. I think Ben, you're on him as well, aren't you? I had him
Yeah,
sort
I
of.
got Sai and he's been great so far.
Yeah, he's just got me a couple of back-to-back 9-pointers. Obviously, the one against Everton was awesome. Wasn't massively expected. I've kind of been waiting for Everton to kick into action. So for him to get the clean was awesome. Trent, Gabriel, Rudiger, Cancelo. So I brought Cancelo back in for Thiago Silva, who didn't start. Obviously, Silva was in there for me. So just sort of imagine that. Nice little sort of 7-pointer from Trent previously. And with Trent playing tonight against Arsenal, hoping for something. Gabriel, he's been really, really poor since I brought him in. I think I brought him in for the Brentford game when they conceded in like the 93rd minute. I was like, oh, another poor move. But you know what? Little sort of passes tier against Wolves. Obviously, the 1-pointer against Watford was disappointing. But to get a 9-pointer against Leicester, didn't expect it. Gives me a bit of faith. And they've got a nice sort of fixture congestion run. So hopefully just accumulate some points and some clean sheets would be awesome. Arsenal are looking fairly good. Happy to hold for now. 8-pointer for Rudiger, or 16 as captain on the 13th. Obviously you got the yellow card, bit disappointing, but hit the passes tier, and I think they can count themselves a little bit fortunate there wasn't a penalty for Newcastle.
Oh, mate, that was
on that one.
Stonewall, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll absolutely take that. Cancelo, so I had him out and I brought him back in, and I was having a conversation with you, Tom, wasn't I, about maybe like being my rank been around 800, like having a punt, but I just didn't think that night was the night for the punt. Mahrez couldn't get KDB in easily, so I thought the highest ceiling player that night was Cancelo, and I think he actually was the highest scorer, wasn't he, on the evening? So yeah, very, very happy to make that move, and I'll probably keep him now to the end of the season. Nice 13-pointer, absolutely fantastic asset. Coutinho, little bonus. Joe Willock didn't play, but fingers crossed he plays Thursday, so tomorrow night. He missed out with a niggle, so he wasn't even on the bench, and I think he will come back into the team. I think it's a really important game for them, isn't it, against Everton? So fingers crossed he plays, starts, so I can captain him. Blank from Mount. Obviously, I brought Mount in for that congestion of games for Chelsea. Got me the goal and the assist in the game before. Was it goal and assist? I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, the 13-pointer and shots tier. Bit of a shame he blanked, but I'll be looking to move him on at some point. Salah, Broja, Kane. Not much to say there. Broja 1 point again. You know, he's definitely in hanging by a thread in my side at the moment. And I think with these fixtures and stuff, it might then bring up a little bit of a change moving forward. Salah and Kane both super solid, so happy with those guys. And yeah, not a bad week actually. Sort of improve my rank a little bit, and hopefully with certain things maybe going our way tonight, it'll give me another little push. So yeah, all good.
Nice one, pal. I'll quickly whack up my team. Yeah, I made a cheeky transfer tonight. I can't remember if I could have done it earlier or not, but I got rid of Thiago Silva for Gabriel, basically because he's at least got a 3-for-1 over Thiago Silva with a bit of luck. So I just thought that was an easy move. I'm down to 10 transfers now, though, which feels a little bit uncomfortable. But yeah, I feel like that's the average, actually, to be fair. So it's not the end of the world.
I think 10's plenty as well. I think you'll be okay with that.
And yeah, I've used 3 transfers already this week, and I think I went through the full 4 or 5 last week as well. But yeah, you see my rank, it's gone up and up and up every single week. So I'm pretty happy with how the transfers have paid off, really. I think over the last month or so, I've climbed about 400 places. So I'm pretty content with that. And yeah, my defence got Cancelo and Laporte, as Sam already spoke about Cancelo. And yeah, I've held Laporte for this long, knowing that this game would come and expecting a clean sheet. And I got a nice 10-pointer out of him. Trent didn't obviously get any attacking... Did he get an attacking return in his last game? It's just a clean sheet, wasn't it?
No, just a clean sheet,
in the fixture. And then, yeah, Dubravka in goal. I know he hasn't lit the world up, but I think over Pope, since I've bought him, he's probably 10 or 11 points up, I think, with the captaincy game to go. So I know he's, like I say, he's not lit the world up, but I think that transfer has actually paid off, I'd say. And yeah, Sam already mentioned Rudiger. He was my captain when they played. I got Rafinha, Saka and Ramsey as my midfield. I got rid of, it's probably a bit of a sudden move, really, but I got rid of Kilman when I saw he wasn't playing and brought in Ramsey, just because that allowed me to sort of restructure my team, Ramsey being slightly cheaper than Kilman even. And yeah, pleasantly surprised to see him come up with a goal. I think Rafinha is looking pretty much back to his best as well. I think he's getting his XG over the last few games is something ridiculous. He should have got more returns than he actually did. So yeah, really excited to keep him in my team, and he'll be my captain against Wolves. Salah, he does what he does, scored a goal, and so did Harry Kane as well, so pretty content with those two. And to be honest, I don't see any reason to get rid of Salah and Kane for the rest of the season, really. I think they'll just stay there. That's me.
I know I might be jumping the gun a bit, Tom, but what's your plan then with Dubravka? Are you going to hold him for the Wolves single, or because you've now, as I know we'll talk about later, kind of need Pope? Are you going to skip a Pope game or skip a Dubravka?
Yeah, I've got to really play that one by ear, to be honest. I'm not going to make a plan now because I think through that international break things might change. But yeah, it's a tough one because my original plan was to just go Dubravka and Sarr and not have to worry about these Burnley singles, but they've thrown a bit of a spanner in the works with these. So yeah, I don't have a plan at the moment, to be completely honest. I've got the whole international break to think about it, so I think I'm going to use that time.
Fair enough.
That's it, really. I got your team next, Ben.
Yeah, so like Sam, I've got Sa. Been great since I brought him in. I think I looked at it yesterday. It was like Pope has got, I think, net 0 points. I think he got a -1 and then a 1. And in that time, I think Sa's got me 22. So that's a pretty good gain. And then, yeah, Van Dijk and Trent, I've gone from the overhaul. I've had double Liverpool. I just thought most people were kind of sleeping on the Liverpool defence. I think a lot of people think we concede more than we do because we play the offside trap so well. So it definitely looks like we concede more chances than we do. So I thought that was a good chance to try and gain a little bit by going double Liverpool from the get-go. And I'm going to probably commit to it until the end of the season, I think, unless something radically changes and we start shipping 2 or 3 goals a game. I think I'll probably stick with the double up. And then, yeah, currently Rudiger and Silva are my other two. I brought them both in last week. So when Rudiger started, I brought him in. When Silva started, I brought him in and captained them for both those days. Bit disappointing that Silva didn't play, but I think we all kind of expected that, to be honest. And then, yeah, midfield, I've got Rafinha. As you said, Tom, kind of been incredible recently, although I am getting rid of him next week, which could be dangerous. But he's been too frustrating. I want to try and take a punt on someone else. which we'll get to later. Ramsey, can't complain. Even if he got 2 points, he's still worth it for 5.8 million. He's been amazing. I'm just disappointed, actually. I don't know if you guys remember. I was so championing having him in at overhaul, and then I didn't do it. I kind of got talked out of it, and went for, I think, Gallagher instead. And then, of course, he got a brace. And so then I rage transferred him in, which, I mean, in the end has probably actually been okay. I think he's done pretty well since then, so I'm happy enough for that. Ward-Prowse, he's been fine. He did the job on the single. That's kind of all I needed him to do. I'm getting rid of him tomorrow, so I'm not too worried. He's been okay so far. On the graphicals, I've got Saka. I've only brought him in today. So, he's been great recently. I brought him in initially to cover the Arsenal captains, but I've actually changed my mind on that. I'm going to bring in Ramsdale and go with him, I think. But I think Saka looks really good. He's one of the best scoring midfielders in the game, actually. So happy with that for sure. Although I hope he doesn't do too much tonight. We've got a league title to win. So, and then, Salah up front don't need to say much about him. And Son, who has been the most, amazing and frustrating player I think I've owned all season. I had him a couple months ago when everyone had Kane, and he was doing amazingly for me. And then now it just feels like I'm really getting punished for not having Kane. So I'm hoping Kane stays quiet tonight and Son matches or beats him. We'll see.
I'm just going to have a look.
I think it's still 0-0 the 30th.
Yeah, it's 0-0, boys, still.
All right.
Thank God. Let's hope it stays like that.
Yeah, nice one, Ben. Looks good. You said you were getting rid of... I remember you said you were getting rid of Ward-Prowse. I guess we'll probably talk about that when we get onto the fixtures. But what's your plan? Are you getting rid of him for a Newcastle lad, or...?
Yeah, so the plan today was always I would get rid of Cancelo today and Ward-Prowse tomorrow. And so I brought Saka in today, and then tomorrow will be... I was pretty set on St. Maximin, especially because I think he's now going to be back and starting. And last time he played Everton, he did really well. I think he got man of the match. I don't think he didn't score, but he got like man of the match and shots tier or something like that. And he's such a darling for man of the match. But I think now that these new fixtures have come out and I'm not going to be able to have Sa to captain on the Newcastle single, I think I'd rather probably have a defensive asset for that single. So I know our friend Tom P has been championing Target, and I think Target's kind of going to be my guy as well. Captain him. Last time I checked, he was like 0.1 or 0.2% owned in the top 1K, and I watched the game against Chelsea and he looked great. So I can't see, he's not going to probably get a goal, but he could get an assist. He's on set pieces, and Newcastle look like they're a lot better defensively. So that's the plan.
Yeah, they really have improved, haven't they? Like when we first saw the game come out, pretty much all of us were like, nah, I'm never going to pick a player from these teams. But yeah, Newcastle are pretty tempting now because they really sorted it out.
Yeah, it's a shame Trippier isn't fit, because I think if he was fit, everyone would be on him. I think he's looked amazing this season. But I still think it provides a good opportunity for anyone who's chasing, or anyone like me who's got a stupid amount of transfers left. I'm on, after today's transfer, I'm still on 14. So, I think it's a good opportunity for me to make a move that could actually end up doing something, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. I've just whacked the fixtures for tomorrow's game and Gameweek 32 on the screen. We've already spoken, I guess, about our plans with Newcastle players, etc. But I guess most of what we've done is within the confines of like our team structures. I was just wondering who you guys thought was the best captain. If you could pick any player for the game, who was the best captain on the night?
I would say if it was just for that one game and he starts St. Maximin, if not, then it's a real toss-up. I honestly think Target is probably the second best. Dubravka maybe, but I think with Target you've got a good chance of an attacking return, or he's even got tackles once or twice. So, but yeah, I think if he starts St. Maximin for that one game for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I think Dubravka is probably the best shout. Everton aren't scoring many goals. Obviously, you get a 9-pointer for a clean sheet. So, yeah, maybe that says everything we need to know about the players, and maybe that it's going to, there really isn't a fantastic option, even though Newcastle have improved. Everton are absolutely dog, aren't they? And Newcastle, yeah, there's no massive standout, I don't think, as a Sky asset. So, yeah, Dubravka for me, Tom.
Yeah, and likewise, that was one of my punts really. Well, it started with a punt, but yeah, like we're saying, I think Dubravka's turned into the best captain for the game now, so I'm pretty happy to be owning him for that. And yeah, just looking at the rest of the game week 32 fixtures. So on Friday we've got Wolves against Leeds. So I'll have Rafinha that day. So it's a nice and simple one for me. But what about yourself, Sam?
I'll be on Sarr, mate. I don't have Rafinha, but I'm totally happy to own Sarr. I think Wolves are really solid at the back. So, yeah, believing it on him. Yeah, simple one so far for me. I've got 10 moves left, so could potentially bring in Leeds. I mean, Rafinha if I wanted to, but don't think I'm going to. So, yeah, Sarr for me. Ben,
Yeah,
who you
it's
on?
tough for me. I mean, I have Sa and Rafinha, so I'm kind of spoiled for choice. I was very confidently going to say Sa until I saw how much Rafinha could have gotten. Um, I still think I probably will go for Sa. I don't think Leeds will score. And if they do, it probably will be Rafinha, to be honest. But I think I'll stick with Sa unless, I'll see how tonight goes. And if I really need to chase, then I'll stick with the Sa. And if not, then I'll maybe consider Rafinha for the ownership. But so far, I'm saying Sa.
Yeah,
I think that's a good shout, mate.
I was just quickly looking at the ownership. Sar's on this is 8 p.m. on Wednesday. Sar is currently 15.8% owned, and Rafinha's right up at 58. So, yeah, if I'd say on paper, Sar is probably the best captain, and he's the lower owned. So, yeah, if you've got the chance to captain him, I'd do that.
They just don't concede many goals, do they, Wolves?
No.
They've gone back to being really solid. And yeah, I'm just not going to overthink it. Don't need to make a move. Sar's been good. Stick the armband on him.
And I was just thinking how, Wolves and Leeds match up. I was just going to see how the reverse fixture went. It ended 1-1. I just like to think that Wolves are a pretty difficult team for Leeds to play against, right? Because they sit pretty deep. They won't have much space in behind. I think it's a game that suits, low scoring affair, really.
Agreed, mate.
Yeah, my only thing is I can see when Bamford starts to really start, getting back into, full fitness, I can imagine Leeds are going to start firing again. So, I mean, whether that's going to be on Friday or not, I don't know, but I think it's coming.
Then Saturday we got Villa at home to Arsenal. I mean, for this one, it's going to have to be my guy, Saka. I brought Gabriel today, but I think you've got a captain Saka on this one if you're me. I don't know about what you guys are going to do.
I mean, for me, I've got Saka. I brought him in today, but I'm actually going to, because of the amount of transfers I have, in between Sa and Pope, who I'm going to be bringing in for the singles down the line, I'm actually going to bring in Ramsdale on Saturday, and I think I might captain Ramsdale. I'll sort of wait and see. Again, it'll depend on how today and Friday goes, where I'm at and chasing and stuff. But at the minute, I think Ramsdale's maybe a better captain. Saka is kind of I know Paul McAnulty always says he's kind of like, you're punching a lottery ticket. So I think Ramsdale, just for consistency, I'll probably keep it on him.
Nice. I'll probably go Coutinho. I've got Gabriel, but I don't fancy Arsenal to keep a clean sheet. Again, might be completely proved wrong on that. Got Coutinho's good forms at Villa Park. Can see a goal or so each side. Yeah, might just go with him. Obviously, if I see the captaincy poll and it's heavily weighed towards a Arsenal defender, I might well go with that. But if it looks fairly split, then I'll stick it on Coutinho and just hope he has one of his really, really good days. And as we've seen previously at Liverpool and obviously this season, he can do it against anyone. So yeah, happy to have the armband on him and just hope I catch him on a good day.
It's a really interesting one, isn't it? I think, like you say, I think there's probably 3 or 4 players that would be pretty highly owned that are almost a split captaincy between 3 or 4 players, really. So yeah, the whole thing could be won or lost on Saturday the 19th of March, maybe. Because there ain't many days where it's quite as split as that, I don't think.
Yeah, I like Coutinho. I think Coutinho, if I had him, I think he'd be my captain, definitely.
Yeah, he's a good shout. Let's like Tom said, let's see what happens on that day. I can see like a goal each side, so I think any goal defenders or goalkeepers are going to get wiped out. And yeah, I can't see it being a massive haul day for any player really, but yeah, I'll take a sort of Coutinho. I'd take a 5-pointer as captain. Someone said that to me now. Happy days, 10-pointer as cap. Move on.
Then Sunday the 20th, we got Leicester at home to Brentford, and then Tottenham at home to West Ham. I don't think I hit record when you were saying it, Ben, but you were bigging up Leicester before. I don't know if you're fancying a Leicester player this day or not.
Well, yeah, you guys are going to hate me, but as of right now, I think I'll captain Harvey Barnes. Bring him
Shout,
in.
mate, like it.
Because, I mean, if I had Kane, obviously 100% Kane, done, easy. But I don't have Kane. I've got Son, who doesn't look great at the minute. And, against West Ham, who are pretty, they're pretty solid at the minute. I know they've kind of been a bit up and down sort of more recently, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if it ends up 0-0 or 1-0 each side or whatever. I can't see it be high scoring, and I don't know if I back Son to be the guy to get that goal. Whereas Brentford, they started strong this season, but they haven't been as good. Although, I mean, Tony's been bagging goals in, but they're certainly down in the relegation scrap at the minute. And I just think, Harvey Barnes, I mean, I wrote this down earlier. Let me see. So I know there's a lot of worry about him sort of rotating. He started 5 of the 8 games this year, and he's come on in the 2 of the 3 that he missed. And he got an assist in one of those. And of all the games that he started this year, he's not blanked once. The last time he started and he blanked was the 1st of December. So actually, I don't think I know Leicester haven't been great recently, but he looks all right. And he should have scored a goal the other day. So I just think I might just take the risk. I mean, next week is going to be a really, tough week. So it'll depend on how everything goes. But I think Barnes is probably a better punt than Son will be.
That's pretty convincing, mate. Yeah.
I like it. He's greedy, isn't he, as well? I don't know if you just said that, but he does have shot volume. So you come away with shots bonus, aren't you, as sort of minimum, you'd hope. Yeah, I'm probably going to be on Kane, but reluctantly. I see Spurs are 1 up now. Christian Romero scored the goal, didn't he? It's just like, come on, Harry.
Please don't.
12.3 million quid, mate. I actually am thinking. I've sort of got Tony penned in to bring in. I think there's kind of a little. They tick along, don't they, Brentford, with games, and they've got the single there. And I think Broja to Tony for me is going to happen.
That's pretty. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's happening. So I would be tempted to stick it on him, especially when Leicester are just, mate, they are conceding goals for fun, aren't they? But Ben, what you said about Brentford, totally agree. It's like, they're not pulling down any trees, are they? So I think it'll be on Harry Kane because it's a derby, and I think that'll add a little bit of spice. But yeah, I'll probably own Tony for that, and let's hope he gets a goal or goal and shots bonus or something like that.
Yeah, well, like you guys were saying, I don't think Leicester have really ever had a problem like scoring goals. Their defence is just all over the place. So yeah, both of those shouts, I can't argue with you guys. I think that's two lovely little differentials there.
Yeah, it's the Vestergaard effect. Bring him into your team, and all of a sudden it just becomes awful.
God,
we all learned that last year in Sky.
My God, yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't even been playing, but he's just
he's rubbish, yeah. So like I said at the start, we've had some new fixtures announced by the Premier League for April and the beginning of May. There's quite a lot to read on the screen there, so I won't go through them all because I think most of the days we'll all pretty much already have a player to cover them, but I think there are a couple of interesting sort of single game days that have come about, and 2 of them, the 2 single game days both have Burnley playing. So on Wednesday the 6th of April we've got Burnley v Everton, and then Thursday the 21st we've got Burnley at home to Southampton. I think for me it's back to Nick Pope for these couple of days, but I don't know if you punty chaps fancy anything different. But
me and Ben have got a problem with Sarr.
Yeah, Sarr, it's the dream has come crashing down on us really. I mean, the jump off point for Sa, it was so clear after the single on the 8th, moved to Ramsdale on the 9th, and that's us for the season. But yeah, now I'm gonna just have to. I mean, I said it earlier, sort of probably bring in Captain Target for that fixture, and I'll bring in Pope on the 6th. And I think then just hold him to the rest of the season. Burnley's fixtures are pretty good towards the end of the season. I mean, obviously it'll depend on, if something happens and they're relegated by the time, we get to May or whatever, then they might not really care about playing. But yeah, I think Pope loves a good single game day. So
Yeah, I've got Willock. So as long as Willock starts against Everton and he's sort of back and fit, then I'll probably go with Willock with the Wolves Newcastle single, so that I can ship out Sarr to Pope because they've said he's single game day king. Like, it's just a shame, isn't it, Ben, how that just didn't fall, did it, for Wolves? But I think I've got 10 or 11 moves left, so it's not going to be a big problem. But would have preferred Sarr for that Newcastle single.
And public service announcements to anyone. I think most people assume that Pope is cheaper than Sa and Ramsdale, but he's not. So make sure you have the budget, because I know a lot of us are struggling with that.
That's exactly why I brought in Gabriel tonight for Silva, because my plan was completely foiled because he's 6.9 in Ramsdale and Sarr. I think Sarr's 6.7 and Ramsdale's 6.8. So
yeah.
Is that what they are, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, just those little point ones, because I was pretty sure I was going to bring in Madison. Although actually I'm happy with Barnes instead of Madison anyway. But I can't because I'm 0.1 short because of Pope.
He is worth the money though, isn't he, Nick Pope?
Well, and like we say, he's a single game day legend, and Everton and Southampton just feel like prime single game day opposition for Nick Pope, don't they?
It's like 18-pointer, and then if he gets saves, he probably gets man of the match, and it's just like a haul, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'll be Sarr out for Pope for those two, and then armband on Willock if he starts, and just again hope for a bonus on that Newcastle Wolves on the Friday and 10-pointer or something like that. I think there'll still be some people on Kilman at that point, won't there? For Wolves assets, and so you're hoping that Wolves kind of get a clean sheet wipe out there if you're a Sarr owner and move him on to Pope. But yeah, we'll see.
I think Kilman will definitely be the most popular captain that day for sure.
Do you reckon?
Oh, I think by quite a lot. I can't really see many other players. I don't know. Maybe a couple of people hold out, and then I would say Kilman and St. Maximin.
That's it. It's holding out on it's who holds the Newcastle assets, isn't it? Pretty much.
But I think their fixtures aren't too bad in between the two. Let me just double check them. Yeah, I mean, they've got Spurs, which actually isn't great, I suppose, away to Spurs as well. So not the best fixture, but I don't mind holding for that. It's only 3 games and you're going to captain them for 2. So
yeah, exactly.
After.
Well, it's not. It's quite far in the future anyway, so my plan won't stretch this far. But on Monday, the 2nd of May, there's a single game day with what says currently subject to UEFA Champions League participation. But yeah, United got stuff last night, so that's done. So Monday, the 2nd of May, there's going to be Man United at home to Brentford. I think, by the looks of the fixtures, you can just buy someone on the night for this one. But for me, I'll probably just go De Gea and, maybe even Ivan Toney and try and go against Man United, maybe.
That's what I'm thinking, mate. I'm thinking Toney for that night. I mean, I can judge it nearer the time. Like you said, it's quite a while away, but yeah, fancy Brentford to get a goal.
You can just foresee it, can't you? Maguire smashing him in the box or something and giving away a penalty, and then Toney just scoring his pen. Yeah,
I'm definitely awaiting seeing that one, because I know Liam Dorian keeps saying it's so much like, by the 2nd of May, Brentford could be relegated. Yeah, exactly. It could be fully safe. United could be really playing for top 4, or it could be done. So it just depends.
There's so many variables, isn't there, in context. I wouldn't be objective. I need to bring in Ronaldo that night because he's on form and United have suddenly looked all right. Then I'll do that. It's just a bit far away at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I think De Gea, I think you're right, Tom, is probably the one that immediately stands out. but I don't think I'll have the budget for him at that time anyway. But I'll have to see. But I mean, their fixtures after Brentford, you got Brighton away, home to Chelsea, and away to Palace. Like they're not too bad.
No.
So I wouldn't be opposed to maybe bringing in Ronaldo or something like that as well.
Yeah, and then hold him for a 3-gamer or something. And he gets to get the hat trick against Spurs, didn't he? He's just, you can pull that out of nowhere, can't he? So, yeah, but it's a wait and see, isn't it?
Yeah, so I just got Twitter questions up now. Yeah, we got a really good one from Luke here. Thanks for your question, Luke, as always. So, yeah, he's asking us from each position, who do you predict will be the highest scoring player until the end of the season? So, yeah, out of the goalkeepers, the defenders, and the midfielders, and the forwards, who's going to be the highest scorer? I'll have a pop at this first. I think goalkeeper, looking at like the recent points, and I think I showed the graphic on the podcast last week, the highest value player in the game at the moment is Alisson. He was top of all the lists for the last sort of 5 or I think it was the last 10 game weeks for points. So I'd actually say Alisson is up there as probably going to be the highest scoring goalkeeper, providing he plays all the games. Because I know, is it Kelleher, your sub keeper? He's sort of fancied, isn't he? He might come in for a couple of games, but yeah, Alisson would be my pick for keeper. I think
what Ben said was, oh, sorry, Tom. I was going to just back up with what Ben said. I think with it always looks like Liverpool concede more chances, but actually the offside just runs really well. And Alisson's capable of. He's been really good this season, like low key, like probably one of the best goalkeepers in the world. I think I don't sound deluded as a Liverpool fan to say that. He's back to his best. Yeah. His positioning is superb. His distribution, he's very all-rounded, and he does pick up saves bonus. He's had a couple of assists, and as Ben pointed out, he's just clean sheet. And what's even funnier, really, is quite a lot of them have actually come down to him just with really astute goalkeeping.
Like massive one-on-one saves and stuff. He seems to pull them like 2 or 3 out a game, doesn't he?
Yeah, not just that though. Like his positioning for stuff that other goalkeepers wouldn't read, he just deals with really well. And I think obviously I watch a lot of Liverpool, so I sort of pick these things up. And yeah, it's just like I said, overall it's just such a good goalie. And when I went through that question earlier, Alisson was the first one to come to my mind with that. But there's probably a couple other shouts. Sorry, mate, I've crowbarred all your answers there, so I'll let you get back to it.
No, that's absolutely fine. And yeah, I think probably Nick Pope's up there as well, just for the captaincies and stuff. But sadly, I've just named Alisson as like who I think will score the most points, but I don't think I'll own him. I don't think I've got any reason to buy him, which is such a weird one.
I mean, for me, I'd love to own him. I'm pretty sure, I don't know for certain, but I'm pretty sure I went triple Liverpool at the end of last season. Definitely double. I actually got lucky. The day I brought Alisson in was when he got that wonder goal. So, you never know. He might pop up with another goal or assist at the end of the season. You never know. But, I think Alisson's a good shout as well. I'd written down Pope, if you're including captains. If not, maybe Ramsdale, because he's really good for saves. And then just for fixtures, Mendy could be great. Chelsea have got such good fixtures to the end of the season. The only issue with Mendy, really, I suppose, is sometimes Kepa gets random games. I think out of all the sort of big clubs, you're not very likely to see rotation. I think with Liverpool, you're never going to see it with City. Even with United, I don't think Henderson's going to get many games. I'd say Kepa might get a couple. So, but I think if he starts all the games, I think Mendy will be right up there.
Yeah, and I don't need to say much really for the defender. I think easy one on Cancelo, really. I hope that the title race goes absolutely down to the wire and Cancelo plays every game so I can get loads of points. So yeah, I was just saying Cancelo for that one. Any thoughts?
I mean, for me,
I was going to say I'm with you, Tom, on that. I know we discussed it before. I think if it does go down to the wire, he's just so many routes to points. City a clean sheet often, and he's just got such an amalgamation of bonuses that he can pull out, and goals, assists. So he's my one. I think a Liverpool defender will run him close as well. I know, Ben, I think that's your thinking, isn't it? But I think for me it's Cancelo.
Yeah, I mean, I think Van Dijk could end up scoring more. I think, after speaking to you guys before, Cancelo probably is the most likely. But when I looked at it initially, my first thought was just Rudiger. Rudiger seems to play every game. He gets bonus pretty much every game. He's attacking a little bit, nothing like Cancelo, but still. And the fixtures are so good. And I think I could be wrong here, but I think Chelsea have more games than City. I think City only have 9 more. So I would say if we, think about the fixtures and stuff, I think Rudiger might outscore Cancelo. And another thing, I know I saw it somewhere. I can't remember, we were saying earlier. I think if it really comes down to it, I think Pep and City would rather win the Champions League than the Premier League. And I think, I still think they can play their full team in both competitions. But I think when you've kind of got one eye on the Champions League and one eye on the Premier League, they could slip up a little bit. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it probably will be Cancelo, but I'll just, put my reputation on Rudiger and see where it gets me.
Yeah, fair enough. And then, midfielder, this is a really tough one. I think there are 5 or 6 players you could have there. I think just on volume of fixtures and how good he's looked, well, he's been pretty consistent all season, to be fair. I'm going to go back to Saka for the highest scoring midfielder. I think he's right up there already in just filtering by total points by midfielder. I think he's 5th or 6th. I think Arsenal have got quite a few, over most teams are more fixtures, and he's been looking pretty excellent. So I'm just going to say Saka for that one.
That's who I've got penned down, mate. Exactly that. He's had 8 goals, isn't he? I think that's right. He's had 8 goals. Yeah, I mean, Jarrod Bowen's had 8 goals. Conor Gallagher the same. Rafinha's had 9. It feels like Rafinha could have had loads more. Yeah. For volume of fixtures and how well he's playing, I'm on Saka for midfielder to score the highest points at the end of the season.
Yeah, I definitely think Saka too. I was actually surprised when I saw this question earlier. I thought I'll go on the app and just filter by points for midfielder. And Saka was right up there. He's been really consistent on, volume of fixtures. But just to kind of further, say how great Leicester are, I think Barnes has a chance. I don't think it's a high chance, but I wrote Barnes as my second choice. They've got 12 fixtures, which is tied for the most of any other team. I think there'll be a good few singles in there. And then those 12 fixtures, you've got Brentford at home, Everton home and away, Watford away, Norwich at home, Southampton at home, Newcastle away, Palace at home. They're all really good fixtures. And he hasn't blanked in ages. The only negative, I think it was pointed out by Paul McAnulty in the 3-for-1 podcast, is if it becomes apparent that the only way Leicester are going to get European football is by winning the Conference League, then I can see a lot of rotation, especially in that midfield. So, yeah, I think it is probably Saka, but don't sleep on Barnes.
No, I can't argue with what you said there, mate. I think, Barnes is a really good shout. And then, easy one for me on the forwards. As long as he stays fit, I think it's got to be Salah, hasn't he? He's just been the absolute best fantasy. Well, I don't know. Has he had a season in fantasy better than this yet? I'm not entirely sure, because he's almost, I think he's the top assister in the league as well, isn't he? Or right close. So, yeah, Salah, I think, is just unbelievable. So, got to go with him. 20
goals, 11 assists in the Premier League. To give context, he's on 255 currently, not excluding. He's actually on the bench, isn't he, for Liverpool? So he's currently on 255. The closest striker to him is Son at 154 points. So, yeah, my answer to that was super obvious, without even having to list to even look at the list. Who's going to be top scorer up front? Mo Salah for sure.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Salah. It's bound to be Salah. I think, especially if Liverpool are chasing the title. I think he's going to be really, really keen. The only thing that could make it not Salah is, obviously recently he hasn't looked great with all the talks of the contract and everything that might be in his head. I think Kane's a good shout as well. I think he looks like he's coming into form. I don't know how he's getting on tonight. I haven't been paying attention, but I think Kane could do it, but I think Salah.
Yeah, completely agree. Matt SkyFF, I won't answer this one first, I'll let one of you guys take it, but he asks, if you had 2 or 3 Arsenal players in your team, who would be your ideal captain on Saturday?
I mean, I will have 2. I'll have Saka and Ramsdale. I'm really not sure so far. I think at the minute it'll be Ramsdale, but I know, Sam, kind of what you were saying earlier is maybe kind of think maybe Saka's a better shout. But it's going to be a judgment call I'll make on the day. If you had to make me choose now, I'd pick Ramsdale, but I'm gonna decide on the day between those two, I think.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. I think. So I think alongside that comes saves points for Ramsdale, and then potential. He's played well this season, so there is then the offshoot of man of the match or whatever. I put him in a pool of 5 or 6. That would maybe likely to get it from both sides. Yeah, and then Saka or Odegaard. I've brought Odegaard into my second team. Now, he actually got man of the match, didn't he, against whoever they last played. But he was like so good. And I actually think he's a good little shout towards the end of the season. He's something like third or second highest chances created behind only Trent and Kevin De Bruyne. Obviously, Arsenal are just looking better and better as a team. I really like some of their midfielders, but just to throw another name in the hat is Martinelli as well. I think, he'd be a good shout. Arsenal have kind of low key got sort of 4 or 5 really nice fantasy options. I think Ramsdale, Gabriel, Odegaard, Saka, and Martinelli. Any of those guys, but I think Ramsdale is the main one for me on that night.
I've got to back Saka myself. Looking at overall points, Ramsdale's on 163 for the season at the moment, and Saka's on 138. But I don't know, I think I said this on one of our previous pods, I feel like Arsenal have gone through a bit of a transition recently. Like previously, we'd only consider a defensive player from Arsenal, but I think they've definitely been looking pretty smart going forward as well now. So, yeah, my guy Saka is my pick for that, I'd say.
I think Saka's probably going to be the best shot. It just depends if you're chasing.
I think, I've sort of already answered this one just going through what we've done before, but FF Bobby asks us, do we have anything planned for Newcastle assets going into Thursday? I can just kick that one off. I'm a proud Dubravka owner, so he'll be my captain going into Thursday. I think, Sam, you got Willock, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm not entirely happy about it. If I'm honest with you, I don't know. I am and I'm not. If he starts and he's fit, I'm happy with it. Really. He sort of had a nice little patch at the end of last season where he's like getting some goals and bonuses and all that sort of stuff. And he started to do it recently. Of course, when I bring him in, he sort of goes off a little bit. But I'm totally happy in the context of the team to have him. And then if I can get another captaincy out of him at his price a little bit later down the line, then that'll do. And just pray for a 4 or 5 pointer, like tackles bonus or something. And really happy with that.
Yeah, and then Matt Target for me, I think, will be. Could be tempted by Dan Burn, could still be tempted by St. Maximin, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty set on Matt Target.
Yeah, nice one, lads. So Damn Fear. Sorry, mate. You sent me a tweet asking when we were recording, so you might have asked this question trying to get an answer before the games kicked off tonight. So sorry if we're a little bit late answering this one for you. But he's saying, so is it the best idea to ship Ward-Prowse out to a Leicester midfielder or Kulusevski or Bowen? He says he's got Rafinha, Saka and Coutinho. So which midfielder, other than Rafinha, Saka and Coutinho, should he swap Ward-Prowse for? I think that's his question.
Need I say any more? I think Harvey Barnes is the real deal. I also think James Maddison's a really good choice. I think either of them. I think depending like Kulusevski gets on tonight, because obviously he looked really good when he first started playing, and then he hasn't done much the past game or two.
He had the assist, mate, for the goal.
Oh, last game.
Another assist, did he?
No, now today.
Oh, today.
Yeah.
There you go, man. There you go. Yeah,
I mean, that's a good shout.
I'm bringing him in. He's on my current plan. In a couple of weeks' time, I'm bringing him in. So I think, I think either Leicester or Kulusevski. I wouldn't. I think Bowen could be great, could reward you because I think a lot of people won't have him anymore. But coming back from an injury, you just never know. I would go with Leicester or Kulusevski.
And he's got moves. He's got moves, isn't he? He's got transfers.
So 15 left, yeah.
Yeah, so similar boat to you, Ben. So it makes sense for him to have a kind of a punt there on one of those players that we talked about.
The other thing as well, I guess it depends if he has Kane. I think I'd go for a Leicester player. If you have Son, I think I'd probably go for either a Leicester player and Kulusevski, or just go for Kulusevski. because I think there's going to be a couple Spurs singles coming up. I know that there's a lot of talk about the game on the 23rd against Brentford maybe being moved, I think, to the Monday, the 25th, I think. And I think for anyone who doesn't have Kane, I think you'll want to have two Spurs assets to try and cover that up.
I like the Barnes and Maddison shout. I think if, like you said, if you're covered on Spurs, I think both of them are really, really good shouts. I think Maddison's obviously fairly explosive. Well, he's proved that. Like most midfielders that are valuable on the game, where they can just pull out a 17, 18 pointer. And, you know, if you have that and captain, then you're going to shoot right up your mini leagues and ranks. So I think, yeah, you two valuable points there, Ben, with Maddison and Barnes.
Yeah, I don't think I can add too much to that, really. Like you say, with 15 transfers left, yeah, you may as well go a bit punty with it. Obviously, if we answered this before the game's kicked off, I'd have probably said like an Arsenal or Saka or Kulusevski, just because they've got 2 fixtures to Leicester's 1. But if he's still sat on his hands and hasn't made the move, I do fancy a Harvey Barnes, because you can captain them on that day against Brentford and be a bit different if you fancy it. And then he's got another question as well, so similar to what Luke said, but he's asked us, who is the best goalkeeper until the end of the season? And yeah, I think unfortunately he asked this before the fixtures came out, when Nick Pope become quite an obvious option. But yeah, he's just asking us who's the best goalkeeper to the end of the season. He's currently got Dubravka, but wants to know who to swap him out for.
It's got to be Pope, doesn't it? With the captains, I don't think there's anyone else you want to cover those fixtures. So I think it is, as I said, kind of unfortunate. It kind of takes a lot of the fun out of it, but I think you've just got to do it. It's whether or not you want to do someone in between Dubravka and Pope. With 15 transfers, I probably would. I had 15. But yeah, I think Pope was definitely the one.
Yeah, I can't add anything beyond that. I don't know about you, Sam. Well, I did say that I thought Alisson would score the most points out of all of the goalkeepers until the end of the season. So, yeah, you could just pick Alisson, knowing full well you wouldn't captain him. Just leave him there and, yeah, be confident that he'll score more points than Pope over the long run. That could be an option. But, yeah, given that you're going to need him for a couple of captaincies and you're not going to want to skip those games, are you? I think you've got to go Pope.
Yeah, you boys have covered it all, really. Agree with all your points there.
That's it, really. That's it for the Twitter questions, and gone through everything I had ready.
I knew you'd miss. I've just pulled it up.
Go for it.
You missed Tom Powell's one.
Go for it.
Can apply it to all three of us. Where do you both expect to finish this year, and what lessons have you learned to carry into next season? Anyone got a straight up answer, or do you want me to jump in first? Or Ben, you look like you're about to answer, mate. You go for it.
Okay. I was kind of exhaling because I'm not too sure, but I guess...
you? Sorry, mate. It looked like you were
Don't worry. I would say probably between 250 and 500. I think we'll probably... I keep kind of floating between sort of, 600, 700 and 400, 500. So between 400 and 700 really is where I've been for ages. I'd love a top 100 if I can do it. That's still going to be the goal. I don't think it's very likely, but with the extra transfers, it could happen. But to be honest, last season was my first season, and I got just about in the top 1K. I think I got like 970 or something, and I literally got in the last day of the season. So anything that's an improvement on that, I'm happy with. Top 500 would be great. Top 250 would be really good. And then if I can make 100 somehow, I'll be thrilled. But as for lessons, I think I'm still trying to learn the balance of when to use my transfers. I think last season I used them up too much. I think this season I've maybe been a bit too cautious. So I'm gonna try. I mean, this season's been difficult because there's never really been that many good opportunities to use them. But I'll try and be less scared to use transfers when I need to.
Nice answer, mate. Nice answer.
What about yourself, Sam?
I've had a poor season, really. Last season I finished 170th, 171st, 170th. I don't quite know where it went wrong. I'll have to go back through on the analysis at the end of the season, which I did do that last year as well. So we'll do that and look at each transfer. I know the FF stuff has some great stuff in terms of reflection of your team. I'll be happy to finish top. I'll be delighted to finish top 500. I'm 800 and something now. I've got 10 or 11 moves left. seen how congested it is up there. It's very template with the two overhauls. So I take top 500 lessons. I think this is my thinking, right? Hopefully not too many people are listening, or yeah, maybe they are, but judging off my season so far, maybe people aren't going to heed the advice. But I think normal non-COVID season, I'm going to be more aggressive earlier in the season and then go to more template towards the back end of the season, especially if they don't affect the structure of the game. I think if you can get yourself out in front and then you just want to consolidate until, it's really, really crunch time or you see an opportunity here or there, that's a viable way of playing the game when it's all a little bit more mapped out. I don't know what you guys' thoughts on that. So my thinking was, instead of just going bust into both teams next year, maybe setting up both sides fairly similar and then having one where I play like I normally do, which is nothing until after the first overhaul, etc., etc. And then one where I just make moves much earlier, much more aggressive. Right, I see a nice little change that's apparent. I don't know, Salah plays on a Sunday, Kane plays on a Monday. Something, you know what I'm getting at, or someone's hit really nice early form, bring them in and then see where they're both at, 10, 12 game weeks into the season. I think the one thing with Sky is it's like really, it does change each year. Certainly all the years I've played it. And I'm like you, Ben, I've sort of rinsed transfers just a little bit too much in the past. And this year sort of thinking, well, even with 10, probably could have made some moves earlier.
Yeah, I don't have a great deal to add, to be honest. I'd say I've not had the best. Well, I'm 580th, I think I am at the moment. It's not horrendous, but yeah, just put my position down to getting 50-50 calls wrong, really. I think my big one was going for Antonio instead of Bowen. My team structure at the time, I can't remember why I had to do it, but yeah, for some, I can remember just having to bring Antonio in over Bowen for a particular reason, and yeah, that just screwed me over, because I think there was one game where Bowen, I either scored a brace or something, and he got a 40-point captaincy, and Antonio just completely blanks, and I lost out on 40 points, and Bowen was by far the most popular captain as well. So just things like that screwed me over, and I think, yeah, the one thing I would say, yeah, based on what you said, Sam, is I think, yeah, definitely start using transfers a bit more early on, because by second overhaul, we all know who the best players in the game are. But at the start, when the prices are new and, yeah, new teams get promoted and players go out on loan, like Gallagher, for example, we don't know who those, star enablers are right at the start. So, yeah, getting on those early, yeah, I think I'll definitely try to do that next season. And in terms of
one thing, Sam...
go for it.
Oh, sorry, Tom, go.
I was going to say, in terms of what my goals are for the season, I don't actually care about overall rank. This is the most coveted prize in all of fantasy football, this one. It's the King William Inn Fantasy Football League from the local pub of my hometown. So as long as I win that, I'm happy.
Huge win.
Massive. That's better than the 50k, mate.
Oh, mate. The bragging rights back in Somerset are unbelievable with that one.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I was going to say as well there, was Sam, you said about setting up your teams the same. I'm definitely going to do that next season. I didn't do that last season because I didn't really know enough about the game. And this season, I don't know what I was thinking, but I went block Villa defence at the start of the season, and Villa were a shambles at the start of this season. It was so, and then it was only for 3 or 4 weeks, but my second team was really, really poorly ranked up until the first overhaul, because I couldn't use 5 transfers to get rid of the block defence. So I've clawed it back to I think it's 3,000 now, but if that gets top 1k, I'll be amazed.
I've kind of had mine fairly aligned. I think that's more to do with having a really bad season rather than a good season. I've got my second team at about 1,600th or something, 1,700th, which actually, if anyone doesn't know, the Sky took my captaincy off Salah on Saturday in it. When you go and select the captain and then something happens, the glitch happens every now and again. So I've had would have been another 10 points up. So, a fairly all right rank with that one. Yeah, so I think I'm going to continue with the same vein of just, it's hard, isn't it, to pick 2 teams that you think will both do well when you clearly have one team that you think is the more dominant, a better side. And I think having them aligned and then making a 50-50 call on someone as a transfer, you just do one in either side. I always find that I just favour my dominant side, and that's when my brain's thinking, right, this is actually the the thing that's going to happen versus my B team or second team where I'm always just having a punt, and I don't want it to be like that next season. So going with that sort of similar or very same side, and then maybe tailing it off as time goes on is another option there as well.
I've just seen that Harry Kane scored, by the way.
Oh, no.
Happy days.
My rank is going to be... No. Shall we have a live look? Let's see. I was around 500 and I'm now 650. So that's 150 from probably one goal. So, oh well.
Not too bad, mate. Let's hope he doesn't do any more.
He hasn't got a bonus or anything. So if you had it on Trent, didn't you? So if Trent keeps a clean sheet at this stage, he'll match Kane. So I don't think it'd be the end of the world. Yeah, it's just if Kane goes ballistic now and scores another one, then you might be in trouble.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We've got another question here, Ben.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Tom.
Yeah, go for it. Sorry if I've missed your questions on the video, Lance, but yeah, go for it.
FPL Fish. What would your optimal 11 be now if you could overhaul but had no transfers left for the rest of the season? So basically, if we're setting up right now with unlimited transfers, what would you do?
But none for the rest of the season?
No, but set up.
Right,
I think that question came in before the fixtures as well. So obviously there's fixtures in there that we probably all haven't had time to fully digest. So I guess acting as if we didn't know those fixtures, or if you can remember some off the top of your head, then that's a bonus.
I did this earlier just for fun, which is lucky. Otherwise, I'd be completely stumped.
Yeah.
So it would be Pope, Van Dijk, Cancelo, Trent, Rudiger, Silva, Kulusevski, Ramsey, Barnes, Salah, and Son. Son's not ideal. I still would rather not have Son now, but the only way I can keep Van Dijk and Trent is if I keep Son over Kane. So I would just hope that Kulusevski and Son could cover Kane. And that will be my team in a couple of weeks' time. So,
I know you haven't done it, Tom, but I think we're all in agreement. Pope, aren't we?
100%, yeah.
As a goalkeeper.
Yep.
And then we all want Cancelo, right?
Yep.
After what we said earlier. Van Dijk for all of us.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Yeah, I think I'd go with him over Trent, to be fair, because he's cheaper, isn't he? And probably score the same.
Yeah.
And then what are you saying for the other two or, well, however many more defensive spots?
I reckon you need Kilman. I think you need Kilman to cover you for a single. He's not like the perfect Wolves player, but I think you probably want Kilman. I'd just double up on City.
It's going to be an enabler. You're going to need two. We're going to need 2 to 3 enablers for this to be afforded. So, yeah, Kilman. Would you have a fourth defender?
Yeah, I'd probably double up on Man City, to be honest, by Laporte, or you'll go for Rudiger, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, Rudiger, good shout. Midfield,
yeah, I'd have
Saka.
one Chelsea, I think, for sure.
Yeah. Saka in midfield. I think we're all on agreement in that.
My midfield currently, Saka, Ramsey, Rafinha is probably the way to go, really, with the fixtures and how well they're all playing. Maybe Coutinho in there as well.
I know I'm sounding like I sort of keep going on about it, but I would say maybe a lesser player, because I think they're definitely going to have singles. So if we're thinking we can't change our team, I think we'd have to have a lesser player. Okay.
I'll see if I can pen it together now on the app. Let's have a look.
And then, I wasn't thinking about the other singles, actually. So, we would need Kilman. And I'd actually probably then go Tony, because I think Brentford are going to have a single at some point as well.
He hasn't been that bad, has he?
Kulusevski in midfield, then you're going to need Tottenham. So, will you be able to afford Kane and Salah? Probably not, with that team that we've mentioned there. It's annoying that I've got to take out every player, but I would imagine you might have to go like Kulusevski or something like that, and then have Salah and Tony up front. Or if you could get Kane, Salah, Tony as a 3, then you might have to drop one of your big boys at the back. But I think we've kind of come up with the bones of a decent sort of 11 or 12 players there that could fit into an 11.
Yeah, nice one. Did I miss any more, Sam? Like I said, apologies. I think I put this together this morning and haven't had much time to look at it again today. So if I've missed any more, just let me know.
Don't think so.
That's a lot. All right. Anything else for you guys to say at all? I think that covers me quite nicely. But anything we missed?
No, I think we're all good. I'm going to nervously go and watch Liverpool-Arsenal now and see what happens. Hopefully we win it, but we'll see.
Lovely job.
Hopefully Kane doesn't get another goal.
Yeah, just under an hour for this one as well. So yeah, not too long for people to listen to. Okay then. Well, thanks everyone for listening or watching, and yeah, thanks Ben for coming on. Really appreciate that. Hope you enjoyed it.
Oh,
Yeah,
thanks very much
cheers,
for having me.
You're more than
Really,
welcome
really
on again,
appreciate it.
mate.
Really enjoyed it, guys.
All right, yeah, as usual, we hit 100 subscribers this week as well. So massive thanks for everyone that's subscribed to the channel. Yeah, pretty wicked that. So yeah, just
delighted with that.
keep it going, please. If you like what you see, leave us a like and subscribe. And yeah, let's see how big we can get this. Yeah, take care, everyone.
Thanks
Cheers,
very much,
guys.